All right, everybody. My name's Hunter Willis, and you are watching the Feature. This is Aptio's roll-up of what's new, what's going on with our products, and what's coming down the pike. This month, we've got a really special episode featured around Agile and Targetprocess, our Agile portfolio solution that ties into the value of everything else that's going on with your IT organization and also shows the value that's being delivered from your Agile practice. And so we have a special guest today. We've got Andrey Mihailenko. He is VP of Products and Engineering here at Aptio, and he has a presentation. He's going to dive into kind of the state of Agile, what's going on with the industry when it comes to Agile, and then talk about how Targetprocess fits into this picture and the value it delivers for organizations along with everything else we have going on here. So, Andrey, thanks for joining us today. Go ahead and take it away.
Okay, hey Hunter. So for those who don't know me, my name is Andrey. I was a co-founder and CEO of the company called Targetprocess, which was acquired by Aptio a couple of years ago, actually 2.5 years ago. We are the leader in enterprise agile planning space, specifically focusing on portfolio resource management. And we've come a long way in the last 15 years since founding of the business, from being a smaller kind of team-level work management solution to a full-blown enterprise agile planning platform to support scaling of agile across some of the largest companies in the world. So what I wanted to quickly touch upon today is just to give you a quick sense of some of the core problems and the trends that we're hearing from our customers that they're trying to keep up with, and what's really top of their mind, and help you understand how those trends actually shape our vision for the roadmap and the things we do on the product side. So without kind of further ado, let's look into the one big used and I'd say abused word is business agility. For a lot of people, it simply means just getting fast to the market with whatever the products that they build. But to me, this is not quite about that. I mean, the getting fast or being first to the market is not something new. People wanted to do this before even Agile became a term in the business world. I think the business agility, really the core of that is in the word itself, agility. It's how quickly the company can pivot when things change. And we know, looking at this extremely unpredictable world, things do change quite fast. We got out of COVID, then financial turmoil, and then we have the war in Ukraine, and there's all kind of stuff that's happening. And the only thing that you can probably be quite certain and predictable about is that this kind of pace of change is going to stay here. It's going to get even probably more unpredictable, not to mention all the technological disruptions happening in the last couple of years, AI and such. So what I think we see more from companies is trying to be actually less predictable, but more adaptable to the change. And that's due to their ability to, or at least the muscle they're trying to build, how they can learn quickly by having a much shorter feedback cycles with their customers, with their market. And that results in a shorter planning and funding cycles horizons. It doesn't have to be a full-blown scale agile framework implementation. We know it's a journey, it could be a painful one. So what we see more and more of these companies trying to take incremental steps of actually becoming less of the annual type of planning once a year, but more quarterly or ultimately continuous planning, working closer with their R&D development teams, and so that they can stop at any point, quickly reassess and change course as they need to. Getting to another one, the workforce management is not so much about global distributed teams or work from home type of thing. It's really about answering a fundamental question that still, I'm amazed how many large companies are not able to answer well. What exactly my people are doing, and specifically how aligned are the work that the people are doing to the business priorities. And we just talked about that those business priorities can change extremely quickly. And making sure that the folks are really can realign themselves in the organization and still continue to stay focused on delivering value and being able to capture and measure and track that value is extremely important. Because at the end of the day, workforce is probably the most expensive piece of for a lot of companies on their balance sheets. And a lot of times, especially when it comes to IT, R&D, it's just a black box for the business stakeholders and finance folks. The last but not the least, I mean, I think there's not a single executive out there who doesn't have an OKR in his book this year, probably going into next year, to make their business more digital. I mean, with all the things happening in the cloud and AI and such, it's just paramount to obviously stay on top of those trends. So those are the big three topics that we see. I do want to call out one more, which is obviously, to me, the person who's been part of building a great product the last 15 years is quite close and dear to my heart. And that's the shift from project to product. And I really don't want to spend and drain this topic if there's so much information happening and is available out there. There are two things I want to call out. One is that every organization, especially me, the large enterprise that I've been seeing, and will always have projects and products. Well, always may not be, but for the foreseeable future, there will be projects and products. Not every wheel has to be reinvented. You have lots of KTLO operational infrastructure type of work, which is perfectly suited for the projects. You've done it before, they're more predictable, there's a funding model that works for them, and that kind of stuff. And then, of course, there is a lot more risk taking type of initiatives that could start as a project but become a product and should then be treated as the product, because that's a different mindset. It's a different, really just a culture, value tracking organization of people around delivering the products is different than delivering projects. So that's definitely is going to be present in most of the organization. So what I want to say is this: the second call out is that once the companies realize that here's a project, here's a product, they really should be treated differently. Because like I said, those are two separate in nature, basically objects or ideas. Just again, how they're being funded, how the teams and have been organized, the sense of ownership and all those things are different between the two, and they should not be kind of mixed up, where which causes a lot of friction and issues, especially when finance is still funding everything as a project and development product is already working in the product mode. So with that being said, those are some of the key trends and ideas that we're seeing. What our customers are telling us, that they obviously struggle at times to keep up with these trends. And if you think about the struggling, most of, if there's one word to summarize, it's really alignment is a big issue. It's alignment between what are the business priorities and what C-suite is thinking about versus what the individual teams and contributors are actually working on. It could be because of disconnected tools. Executives could be, using PowerPoints and decks and all that kind of stuff, but developers are working in Jira's and Azure DevOps type of tools for the team level work. It's also not just about the tooling, it's the processes. The OKRs that developers have set for themselves may not translate necessarily into the epics and features that the teams are working on. They don't even know how they're connected. Obviously, the ideas behind what is the value to one side versus the other. So there's this big gap. And of course, there's a huge gap between the finance and the delivery teams because financial processes are still very much waterfall project-based funding. And if we double click into this notion, this items on the left are kind of the global trends we talked about, and items on the right are the ones that we hear the most from the finance partners that they struggle with when trying to reconcile the work coming out of the R&D product delivery teams. how they can accurately and timely really track and report on the labor spend. How do they actually shift away from funding projects to actually funding products, funding capacity versus demand? And of course, the labor capitalization issues. How do you convert and translate all these agile points into something that could be measurable and reported at the gap level that is defensible? So that's obviously another. Solving those problems have been really at the heart of bringing Apptio and Targetprocess together. And that's the journey we've been on for the last 2.5 years. I think achieving that alignment and this kind of end-to-end visibility for the portfolio and project managers is what the combined Apptio platform solution is about. For those people that don't know, Targetprocess, an enterprise agile planning tool, platform, really has 4 main sort of use cases that we go to market with. They are strategic planning. Think about OKRs. Essentially, how do you capture the vision, the strategy, and the themes? It's about automating and really accelerating the program management, which is a quarterly cycles of planning. Whether you're doing safe or not, but how do we help our product delivery program leaders to get the quarterly items out and the work that they do. And obviously, the resource management is a huge piece. We talked about that. Workforce management is making sure that we understand what resources we have and how well they're aligned to the strategic priorities that we've defined, and really optimizing, making sure that we don't overload, making sure that we can really also forecast the impact on the roadmap when our resources may grow, for example, or if we foresee some reduction and that kind of things, which unfortunately has been the case in the last couple of years. And of course, the portfolio budgeting is another big piece that we actually focus on, and this is where the Apptio Targetprocess, especially working together, brings tons of value to our customers. Okay, so let's finally talk about some of the product investments we're making this year. There are 3 big bets. The first one is scale solutions, which is really all about how fast we can deliver new solutions to the market. And more importantly, it's actually working with the partners and enabling our partners to do the same. Continuing our enterprise journey is the next one. There's a lot of solutions out of the box that make us and keep us the leader in enterprise agile planning space, but we constantly enhancing the existing as well as adding new solutions. And the last but not the least is continuing our integration journey and strategy with Apptio by bringing Apptio and Targetprocess platforms together into one to provide that seamless experience for our customers. A couple more details on each one of them. Solution library as a platform. Again, Targetprocess is a platform of its own upon which we build solutions, or packages, which are very easy and simple, kind of one-click install to deploy a bunch of different use cases. So what we're doing this year is actually making it much simpler to design, create, and build those solutions, to maintain them, but also open up our platform capabilities to the partners so that they can do the same and they can enrich our library by building their solutions and sharing them with our customers. The next one is actually adding new solutions such as lean budgeting, supporting SAFe 6.0, enhancing our roadmap planning and forecasting solution, and a bunch of other things that maybe not listed here, but we're always, as I mentioned before, adding new capabilities to the product. The last but not the least is really a couple words on continuing that journey of bringing together our platforms, leveraging the automated data management as the way for seamless integration and data exchange between Apptio and Targetprocess, so that our customers on both sides, finance and product and delivery, can actually close that gap, they can easily capture the organization goals, budgets, and targets. They can track the work. They can also report on actuals and how they may deviate from the plans that they had in a one single platform. This is the gap between the finance and agile teams and product delivery teams. That was our and continues to be our vision and mission to close. And this work stream is all about that. With that, I'm going to wrap up, and Hunter, back to you. Thank you.
All right, man. Thanks again. You've been on here before. We really appreciate your time and for going through all of that with us. Fantastic presentation. So yeah, again, thank you for going through that. Everybody, just want to just touch on the fact that you can find other updates for our other solutions and everything that we've got going on in the Help Center once you log into your Apptio solutions there. You can check out the What's New section for any given product. And again, we do have other content online. We've got our FinOps Fridays with Nate Besh and our Amplify Agile series with Kira Zapanta going on there. So if you are interested in this Agile topic and everything that you saw today, right, and want to learn about more about what's going on with the industry, best practices, as well as what's going on here at Apptio, definitely check out that Amplify Agile podcast. It's a really great streaming series. You can find all the past episodes over on YouTube, and stay tuned for the next episodes that are coming out. Again, my name is Hunter Willis, signing off here. Hope you check us out next month and that you enjoyed today's episode. Take care, everybody. Like, share, comment if you have any questions as well, and we'll see you next time.